حب النبي رحمة ودواء والقلب من نور ارتوى.
Well, we wait to sight the crescent moon so that we can usher the holy month of Ramadan. And let me be the first to wish you Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters ahead of the holy month. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Ann Wangeshi. Welcome to our broadcast at this hour. And we start off on unfortunate scenes in Baragoy, where 2 conductors were killed while 6 passengers were injured following an ambush on a PSV vehicle Thursday along the Baragoy highway. That story we'll be sharing with you in just a few, but I want to take you live to Busia County, where joining us is our very own Achola Simon. Achola, good afternoon. We do know the Orange Democratic Movement is marking 20 years since its inception. What are the expectations of the members and the residents there in Busia?
Well, thank you very much, Hashim. Indeed, we are in Busia County and we're casting our eyes on the celebration of ODM Party, the Orange Democratic Movement, that of course began 20 years ago. Movement that actually morphed into that particular movement that actually was opposed the 2005 constitution by, of course, the one that was drafted by the then Attorney General Amos Wako. Of course, that movement morphing into an Orange Democratic Movement that eventually became a political party, and over the years, of course, it has gone in leaps and bounds, a journey of near misses. But of course, they've also achieved quite a lot along the journey in terms of just putting the successive governments in check, but more importantly, also shaping the politics of this country. This is a story that, of course, every Kenyan can actually tell or talk about. However, only members of ODM can tell best the story of ODM in the last 20 years. And luckily, we have the Kisumu Central member of National Assembly, Dr. Joshua Oron, who is a staunch member of ODM. 20 years down the line, where are we?
Good afternoon, Banochola. This afternoon, we are in Busia, Funyula constituency, to celebrate the 20th year of ODM as a party. ODM as a party has become stronger and stronger over the years. Established in 2005, today we are celebrating that day. ODM has remained one of the biggest, the strongest, and one of the national parties that today we celebrate its achievements. One of the achievements that ODM has achieved over the years is remaining steadfast in advocating for the common man. ODM has remained a party that keeps the government in check. ODM has remained a party that ensures that the Wananchi get what is due for them. And going forward, ODM will remain stronger. Remember, ODM is one of the biggest parties in East and Central Africa, one of the longest party in East and Central Africa, south of Limpopo. And we are moving forward. As a party, we believe that we cannot have a party which is not forming a government. And 2027, ODM is working towards forming a government. And that is our aim going forward.
One of the things that have actually emerged this year and of course last year was the issue of incorporation of youth in the country's politics. Where are we as ODM in terms of just ensuring that each and every youth can actually be part and parcel over this process?
ODM in the last 2 months started a process of new recruitment. And one of the priority of the party in the grassroots election is to ensure that youth are represented, and youth below 30 years. Now, that is another way of ensuring that youth are involved and the youth voices are heard in the process. So going forward, as we are moving from the grassroots to the wards, to the constituency, and to the national, you will see a lot more youth participating and becoming more involved in ensuring that ODMs, the voice of the youth, are heard in ODM.
One of the things that this party has actually been accused of in the recent years has been the fact that you have distorted the masses, that you have decided to cast a blind eye on so many issues, and decided to, what most people are saying is to side with the government. Is this the right direction that we are heading, or what exactly is the strategy behind each and everything that is happening now?
Our party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, has remained steadfast in ensuring that the voice of masses, the voice of Kenyans are heard, and that what has been promised by the government is done and achieved and given to the people who elected them. Now, the issue about working with the government, remember Raila Amolo Odinga, Kenya is his priority. The common man is his priority. The common man is the party's priority. So I want to tell you that we are not abandoning, we've never abandoned the Wananchi. The party, the party leader of ODM will put Kenya first. So it will not allow Kenya to go in a bad direction or in one direction that's going to hurt the country. And for that reason, I can tell you for sure that the party leader and the ODM as a whole will always advocate for the Mwananchi.
Fantastic, Daktari. That is Dr. Joshua Oron, the member of the National Assembly of Kisumu Central, of course telling us the story of ODM, but more importantly talking about the plans of the party in terms of inculcating the youth, and also more importantly remaining steadfast in protecting the rights of Mwananchi. Back to you, Hashim Ali.
Well, thank you so much. That is our very own Achola Simon just informing us on the latest when it comes to the Orange Democratic Movement that is currently celebrating 20 years since its inception back in 2005. And we do anticipate the party leader, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, to grace that particular event, and he'll duly inform us in our subsequent bulletins. Now to a tragic top story this afternoon is that 2 conductors were killed while 6 passengers were injured following an ambush on a PSV vehicle on Thursday along the Maralal-Baragoy highway. Those admitted at the Maralal Referral Hospital recounted how the attackers were shooting indiscriminately at the bus, which had 60 passengers on board, before robbing them. Area leaders have called on relevant authorities to look into the matter, as this is not the first time such an incident has occurred along the highway.
Mimi naye nikaanza kujificha kwa chini ya kiti. Hiyo jamaa walifariki kutoka Marti, tulikuwa na hawa. Mungu akawashukua.
Walipiga mbele ya gari wakaanza kuturushia marisasi. Mimi nilikuwa kwanza nakaa mbele. Risasi ya kwanza ikakuja. Haikutupata, tukatoka mbele, tukaenda ile viti ya nyuma, sasa pale watu wanaingilia kwa basi. Marisasi ikiendelea kulia, wakatuingilia ndani ya basi. Wakaua watu 2, wengine wakapata injury.
Tuko na ushungu kubwa sana, na tunaomba serikali tafadhali mkuje mtusaidie sisi, mkuje mwasaidie watu wetu, kwa sababu vile tunaelekea si pasuri.
Hii ni incident ya 3 ambayo imefanyika kwa hiyo barabara ndani ya mwaka moja. Mwaka uliopita tarehe kama ya jana tulipoteza MCA wa upande ya Ngatananyiki. Hadi saa hii hakuna kitu imefanyika. Juzi tena majangili walishambulia gari ya serikali ambayo ilikuwa inapeleka maabusu kotini Baragoy, wakaua askari wa polisi na watu wengine.
And in other news, as Muslims around the globe prepare to begin fasting for the month of Ramadan, President William Ruto has extended a message of goodwill to Muslims across the country as they prepare for the holiest month in the Islamic calendar. The head of state reminded the Muslim faithfuls that it is an important time for spiritual reflection, self-discipline and devotion to acts of charity.
To all our Muslim brothers and sisters, as we eagerly await the sighting of the crescent moon to usher in the holy and blessed month of Ramadan, we are reminded of the profound significance of this sacred period. As the Almighty says in the Holy Quran, fasting has been ordained for you just as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may attain piety. Ramadan is more than just abstaining from food and drink. It is a time of prayer, sacrifice, generosity, and deep reflection. It offers a divine opportunity to purify the soul, strengthen faith, and renew one's commitment to righteousness. As you embark on this spiritual journey, I encourage you to keep our country and fellow citizens in your prayers. Extend kindness to the less fortunate and embrace the values of compassion, unity, and selflessness. May this Ramadan bring you peace, fulfillment, and countless blessings. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak indeed, as we wait to sight the crescent moon so that we can start the holiest month of the Islamic calendar. Elsewhere, a 3-day global disability mini summit concluded Friday in Nairobi with stakeholders expressing satisfaction at steps taken towards achieving inclusive development and disability rights. The summit evaluated Kenya's progress in fulfilling the commitments made during the 2018 and 2022 Global Disability Summit in preparation for the Global Disability Summit 2025 in Berlin, Germany. Speaking at the event held at the Kenya Institute of Special Education, Director for Social Development in the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, Richard Bosire, said Kenya has committed to ensuring inclusive employment and decent work, health equity, inclusive education, accessible infrastructure and political participation.
We shall be coming up with commitments in equity, health equity. We shall also be coming up with a commitment around infrastructure, as well as another commitment in community care and support system. People with disabilities in Kenya have several barriers towards accessing services in Kenya. So those commitments that we are making, we shall be tracking them for the next 2 years so that we see that we improve the lives of persons with disabilities. Disability policy has been a big challenge here in Kenya. For the last 20 years, we've been making this policy. But we are happy here in Kenya because now we have developed that policy, and in the next around 2 months, we shall have the policy.
Meanwhile, a budget analysis report shows how social protection programs targeting children could help provide support to the over 1 million vulnerable children in Kenya by the year 2030. The report launched today shows possible ways to generate revenue to go towards the support of children targeted programs by giving a stipend along with health and nutritional services.
The launch of the report follows a Universal Child Benefits UCB pilot project led by Save the Children, UNICEF, the World Food Programme, and the State Department for Social Protection in 3 counties of Kajiado, Embu, and Kisumu. The pilot involved about 8,300 children and provided a monthly stipend of 800 shillings per child for 12 months, along with health and nutritional services and disability support. The pilot also showed that every shilling invested in the program returned 2 shillings and 85 cents, highlighting the potential for greater financial security for children and their families.
The findings of this report also gives us an opportunity to deeper diving and also explore the viability of options to generate revenue to finance extensions of the universal social protection for children in Kenya.
Jen Muyanga Kititli, Director of the National Social Protection Secretariat, said the fiscal space analysis report shows possible ways to generate revenue and save costs.
My fellow colleagues, the fiscal space analysis report we are launching today illuminates possible revenue streams and cost-saving measures that the country needs to adopt or to consider in order to sustainably finance UCB.
Universal child benefits could ensure that more children receive social protection, reduce poverty, and support long-term growth for the country. Though the government has made some progress, only 11% of Kenyan children currently benefit from social protection programs.
The religious institutions have pledged to work closely with Kenya Prison Service in dealing with issues of mental health among officers and reforming inmates through spiritual guidance. Imam of Jamia Mosque, Sheikh Jamaluddin Osman, who was speaking during the official opening of Nairobi West Mosque in Nairobi County, said the intervention will see the construction of more mosques and churches in prison premises that will also offer counseling services to prison officers.
With statistics revealing increased cases of mental challenges and suicide among armed officers, religious institutions have stepped up efforts to mitigate the worrying trend by creating a conducive environment for officers to share their grievances, have them addressed in time, and get spiritual guidance.
Msikiti huu itatusaidia katika program za rehabilitation ya mahabusu na pia italete maofficers wetu ambao walikuwa na mental issues na nini, itawalete karibu na itasaidia serikali. Pia nashukuru usimamizi wa magereza.
Tunakushukuru kwa baraka zako kwetu.
Prison officers usually face difficult situations in the line of duty, which exposes them to trauma and eventually deteriorates their mental wellness and affects service delivery. The religious leaders have pledged to work closely with Kenya Prison Service in dealing with mental health issues among their officers and reforming inmates through spiritual guidance.
We've been able to have donors or partnership that have assisted in construction of this mosque, and this mosque will go a long way into rehabilitating both members of staff as well as the inmates. Not only the members of staff, but as well as the community around us.
By the construction of this mosque, our prisoners will be able to be remorseful, to regret why they did the mistakes, come closer to God, get some skills from us, and when they get home, they'll be better persons than when they entered.
This mosque, kanisa, or any other center that will going to give a spiritual boost to the inmate will end up giving a corrective measures that will release people who have been affected by criminal activities as better Kenyans into the society.
Speaking during the official opening of Nairobi West Mosque in Nairobi County, Sheikh Jamaluddin Osman, who is an imam at Jamia Mosque, appealed to the development partners to support Kenya Prison Service in decongesting its facilities across the country.
Na wamejitolea watu kujenga msikiti huu, na msikiti huu inakuja kuwasaidia wafungwa kuwajenga katika imani, kadhalika kuwakaribisha wao wawe karibu na Mola wao ili wapate kujirekebisha wakitoka hapa, wawe ni watu waliokuwa na busara, waweze kuwa wamerekebika na wapate kurudi katika jamii ili hali yao imeboreka.
Ya Rabbi salama, ya Rabbi salama, ya Rabbi salama.
It is 19 minutes past the hour. We need to take our first commercial break. Don't go too far. We still have more in terms of business as well as sports, so don't go too far.
Inua jamii karibu nawe kwa haraka na urahisi. Kwa sasa, malipo ya Inua Jamii yanapatikana moja kwa moja kupitia simu ya mkononi. Ikiwa wewe ni mmoja wa wanaopokea fedha hizi, hakikisha laini yako ina huduma ya pesa mkononi. Iwapo huna laini ya simu ya mkononi, tembelea duka la Safaricom au ajenti wa M-Pesa aliye karibu nawe ili usajiliwe kwa ada ya shilingi 100. Inua Jamii ni mradi wa fedha wa serikali unaolenga Wakenya walio na umri wa miaka 70 na zaidi, watoto yatima na watoto wanaoishi katika mazingira magumu na watu wenye ulemavu sugu, kwa kuwapa malipo ya kila mwezi. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Leba na Huduma za Jamii.
Hey, what's wrong?
Where are you right now?
Calm down, I'm listening. What happened?
The stage collapsed.
What did you say?
Right, I promise to get to the bottom of this. Rest assured. Are you there? Hello?
What's going on? Huh? What the hell's going on?
Where the hell have you been, huh?
Chief, why is the stage collapsed?
Why are you asking me?
But
what, Shenyang? Listen, Shenyang, since our company was founded, we have never encountered such a serious accident.
When we look at a generation and some people, especially the boy child, I believe there's something that we need to check out.
Like you rightfully said, a lot of us have disqualified ourselves in spaces God has been preparing us for.
It kind of shapes and puts a perception of mediocrity.
I said to myself, my experiences are my uniqueness. That's my journey and that's my voice. And so I was going to be true to myself. I was not going to come to anybody's standard so that I can fit into any space.
Esteem issues will always show up because sometimes God will do things you look at and you feel like, no, God, no.
From being childhood friends to high school lovers and now lifelong friends.
So he wrote to me a letter. Of suggesting. So when he wrote to me, I said, okay, let us pray about it.
When we went there, as we were coming together, the two of us, I told her on the way.
Okay. He asked, what about my letter?
What about my letter? And that was her worry. She said that you are leaving a job which is well paid and you are now joining the ministry. What will happen to us as a family?
We quarrel, we disagree a lot. But we come down and we forgive ourselves. And we pray and God helps us to heal.
Your wife is more important than the church. Why? Because the church is the bride of Jesus Christ, not your bride. So I usually tell them, listen, the Bible says that if one does not know how to take care of his own home, how can he take care of the church of Jesus Christ?
Maybe I don't know what love is. Maybe I'm a fool.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, in a bid to assist the less fortunate in the society, Zamzam Foundation, in partnership with the Haas Petroleum, has launched a food drive program aimed at providing support during the holy month of Ramadan. Speaking during the launch, Haas Petroleum's country director, that is Liban Hassan, emphasized the importance of collective goodwill during the sacred month. The program is expected to make a significant difference for the underprivileged as it seeks to provide them with the essential food items to observe the holy month with dignity.
We also run other programs during this month of Ramadan to support the needy, in addition to what we are doing today. So my request is to request all of us to join this noble cause so that we bring our cars here so that we can wash and feed and support the family.
Haas has donated the car wash to us so that the 1,000 Kenya shillings that is washed with each car, it goes to feeding a family, and mostly in asile counties of Kenya, just to name a few: Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Turkana, and Tana River. The initiative is mainly wash a car, feed a family. You wash your car with 1,000 Kenya shillings. That money collected would go to the food basket.
Now, political leaders across the country have continued to mourn the death of Malava MP Malulu Njendi, describing him as a unifying leader who strived to support initiatives aimed at bringing the country together. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has termed Njendi as a steadfast and dutifully firm leader who continuously supported programs geared towards improving the lives of his constituents. Mudavadi, who visited the late legislator's family to condole with them in South Sea, Nyamira County, also mourned him as a visionary man who upheld respect and dignity. The late Njendi breathed his last on the 17th of February 2025 and is said to be laid to rest on the 4th of March this year at his home in Kakamega County. Now, Migori County education stakeholders have raised concerns over the deteriorating state of infrastructure in many Kenyan schools, calling for increased collaboration between the government and the private institutions to improve learning facilities. Speaking during the handover ceremony of 12 classrooms and a laboratory built by M-Pesa Foundation at the Komolo Rume Primary School, officials highlighted the urgent need for infrastructural development in schools across the country. The project, valued at 40 million shillings, is part of the ongoing efforts to enhance education standards.
Before we didn't have the ICT lab, but right now that the ICT lab is there, we are going to conduct computer learning lessons, the digital learning from ECD to grade 9. We are going to equip our learners with computer learning lessons.
The world is becoming digital. And because the world is becoming digital, the preparation has to start at a very, very early stage. And therefore, this school has an ICT lab fully equipped with internet connectivity and with trained teachers, so that from the earliest time, these young people are prepared for a future that is theirs, that is the digital future.
Let all of us who are able, or who can do something, do something. I want to promise that in my individual capacity, I'll do something, because we should not just be complaining. I will do something that I think will benefit somebody, and if all of us did something, then majority of our challenges will be some.
Nyamira County Assembly sittings have officially resumed after a 90-day adjournment following the controversy over the impeachment of the House Speaker. Speaker Enoch Okero, who had been controversially impeached but reinstated by the courts, attributed the adjournment to the unrest witnessed on October 8, 2024. He highlighted the county budget and the county fiscal strategy paper as top priorities for the House and assured residents that service delivery, which had been disrupted by previous political instability, will now continue smoothly.
Tumerudi kwa kishindo tukiwa tayari kupitisha hiyo mambo ya budget na kuhakikisha watu wetu wa Nyamira wanapata services zenye zinahitajika. Na yale mambo mengine ya kisiasa na mambo ya kotini, tunakubali tu kodi zetu ziendelee kutekeleza wajibu wao wa kuangalia mambo ya sheria na kuhakikisha mambo halali yanaendelea kutendeka katika kaunti yetu ya Nyamira.
At the Assembly of Nyamira, we continue working for the people of Nyamira and the Kenyans. Pia kuna kesi mingi ziko kule mahakamani, na sisi kama County Assembly of Nyamira tunaambia mahakama iharakishe kidogo hizo kesi ziishe, ndio at least mambo iende kuendelea vyema.
Let us focus on delivering for the people of the county of Nyamira. What they want from us is service delivery, not the fights that they have been exhibiting. And whoever who is fighting is the enemy to development of this county of Nyamira.
Let us all respect the Speaker and the leadership that is there in right now, because the people of Nyamira are tired with the fights that have been demonstrated in the Assembly.
And now here is the latest business news. The Communications Authority CA has earmarked 3.56 billion shillings for the fourth phase of deploying voice and network infrastructure in remote villages across the country. The authority's Deputy Director Paul Kiage says Kenya has achieved 96.6% of voice network coverage, reaching 548 units in terms of coverage and in remote areas over the past decades. Have a look.
3.4% of Kenyan villages remain without voice network coverage. However, the government, through the telecommunications project which was rolled out in 2016, has seen the deployment of voice network infrastructure in remote villages, pushing coverage to 96.6%. Communications Authorities Deputy Director Paul Kiage says 3.56 billion shillings has been allocated to enhance coverage in the remaining 3.4%.
You may ask why the variation, but it depends on the number of sub-locations being covered. Then some could be very remote, so it requires the investors who are building to build road, take care of their own security, movement of goods become a challenge. So you find putting up a mast, say in Othor, becomes more expensive than putting a mast in Milore.
In the coastal region, CA has deployed voice infrastructure across 6 counties including Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi and Tana River.
Kutoka kitambo ilikuwa mambo na network tuko na shida. Lakini kwa saa hii tuko sawa. Ukitaka kupiga simu juu ya watoto kama wako mbali shule.
Kabla ya mnara kujengwa, tulikuwa tukipata tabu sana. Tulikuwa tupande juu ya mti ndo tupate network.
Kiage says the current phase is in tendering stage and is set to cover 313 sub-locations. The cost of deployment for the first phase was 1.25 billion shillings, covering 76 sub-locations, while the second and third phases cost 2.1 billion shillings, cumulatively covering 169 sub-locations. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, the Standard Investment Bank Kenya has opened another division in Mombasa County with the aim of delivering financial services and investment solutions to key markets, as well as empowering individuals and businesses with the tools they need to succeed. The expansion comes after its recent approval of the Retirement Benefits Authority to manage pension funds. Additionally, the bank has diversified its portfolio to include the management of its multi-asset Mansa X Fund, as well as a Taifa Pension Fund and Safaricom's Zidi Money Market Fund, among others. Elsewhere, Kenya's inflation hit a 5-month high in February, rising to 3.5% from 3.3% in January, according to the latest report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. The rise was driven by the continued rise in food prices, including sugar and cooking oil, alongside increases in other essential goods and services.
It's another tough month for Kenyan households as inflation continues to climb. The latest Consumer Price Index report shows that inflation stood at 3.5% in February, up from 3.3% in January. This rise was primarily driven by high prices in food, fuel, transport and housing. Core inflation, which excludes food, fuel and transport, remained steady at 2%, while non-core inflation increased to 8.2% from 7.1% the previous month. During the month, the price of food and non-alcoholic drinks rose 6.4% compared to 6.1% in January. Among the key food items, sugar prices increased by 3.2%, cooking oil by 1.6%, while beef and goat meat rose by 0.2% each. Vegetables were also affected, with sukuma wiki prices rising by 0.5%, tomatoes by 1.3%, and onions by 1%. However, the cost of some staple foods declined. A 2-kilogram packet of maize flour dropped by 0.5%, while beans, potatoes and cabbages fell by 0.5%, 1.8% and 1.5% respectively. In the housing, water, electricity and gas category, prices fell by 0.8% in February compared to 1.6% drop in January. Meanwhile, non-food items such as miraa saw a sharp increase of 4.5%, while local flight fares surged by 4.8%. Despite some price drops, rising costs in key sectors continue to strain household budgets, making life more expensive for many Kenyans. Wairi Mujenga for Lunchtime News.
And now finally, let's get sporty. The national women's soccer team, that is Harambee Starlets, arrived back in the country last night from Tunisia, where they qualified for the final round of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Kenya stand host Tunisia 1-0 on Wednesday to secure a place in the second and final round of the qualification, where they are set to meet Gambia in a two-legged qualifier. Starlets will host Gambia, who ousted Niger 4-1 on aggregate on the 20th of October in the first leg, before travelling to the West African nation for the return fixture on the 28th of October this weekend. Now, Kenya is bidding for its second appearance at the Women's African Cup of Nations after qualifying for the first time since 2016.
Well, we were more tactical than Tunisia, home and away. We only didn't get goals during the home match, but we are happy that we were able to get a goal, play well, put a spirited fight away. It's not always easy to play away, especially in the North Africa countries, but we thank God that the girls did put in a spirited fight. The bench was behind us, and we also had a good support before we traveled.
After first leg, tulisema kwa press that we are sorry for the disappointment, but tukigo away tutaenda kurekebisha, and indeed tumeenda na make sure tume come back na 3 points.
Indeed, congratulations are in order for our starlets. Elsewhere, Kenya dance player Peter Washuri is placed second in Group C after winning 4 matches and losing 1 in last night's action at the Modus Super Series that is taking place in Portsmouth. Washuri had wins against the Dutch woman Noah Lynn van Leuven, Martin Thomas and Kevin Barnes, but lost 2-4 to Donny of the Netherlands. The second day of the action, Group C, is on from 4 p.m. and Washiri needs to finish in the first or second place to secure a place in the tournament's finals on Saturday. And now you're up to date. That is all we had in store for you at this broadcast hour. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Anu Angeshi. Good afternoon for now and enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Hey, what's wrong?
Where are you right now?
Calm down, I'm listening. What happened?
The stage collapsed.
What did you say?
Right, I promise to get to the bottom of this. Rest assured. Are you there? Hello?
What's going on? Huh? What the hell's going on?
Where the hell have you been, huh?
Chief, why is the stage collapsed?
Why are you asking me?
But
what, Shenyang? Listen, Shenyang, since our company was founded, we have never encountered such a serious accident.
Tumekuwa kwa ngori ever since ianze. Hakuna kitu tunakupatia.
Kila kitu iko sawa?
Yule ni mwizi. I think I need to leave.
Kuingiandaa ni rahisi sana, lakini kutoka ni uchawi.
I got your back.
Nimetafuta kwa bedroom yangu kila mahali na sioni.
Mara mwisho ulikuwa nayo wapi?
So how do we go about this?
I have worked so hard to get here, so I can't give up. Haiwezi.
Na kafadi kwa gani? Kwani si sister yako?
Can I talk to you?
Mrembo, ongea tu.
Alone. Baba Jina amepiga na watu wa bank.
What?
Sitiko makara mabeshte. Umesahau. Alex, unaona 2 steps ahead, eh?
Can you imagine your life without music? Because I definitely can't. Cooking, I need music. Walking, I need music. Or even while just relaxing. And this can be any genre. Well, in this week's 77% show, we toured some of Europe's best African musical festivals, asked fans what music they like, and we got close to some of the giants of African music. So stay tuned for that. Hello and welcome to the show. I am your host, Okeri Ngushinado. Here's a sneak peek of what's on the show today. We ask music lovers of Afro Nation in Portugal about their music preferences. We get up close and personal with the one and only Diamond Platnumz. And Afrobeat artist Wizard Chan joins us on a tour of Port Harcourt. In the last 2 decades, Afrobeats and Amapiano have been making waves around the world, carving their own niche in the music industry. Thanks to these two genres, music with African roots is part of the mainstream now. But do you know about the history and evolution of Afrobeats and Amapiano, and also how different they are from each other? Let's kick things off by just telling you that.
Have you ever wondered how African music crossed over into wider pop culture? Well, let me fill you in. In the last 2 decades, 2 musical genres with African roots have been making waves around the world, carving their own niche in the music industry. The term Afrobeats first echoed through the streets of Nigeria in the early new millennium. Also referred to as Afropop or Afrofusion, Afrobeats is a vibrant brand of dance music. It mixes West African rhythms with genres from across the Americas, including hip-hop, Jamaican dancehall, funk, and R&B, among other Nigerian genres. Just to get the facts straight, Afrobeats actually has a precursor, Afrobeat, which emerged almost 50 years earlier. It was pioneered by Nigeria's Fela Kuti in the 1960s. Influenced by the US-based Black Panther Party and the Black Power movements in the 60s and 70s, Kuti used his lyrics to criticize and challenge the colonial powers. Afrobeats can be thought of as an umbrella term for contemporary West African pop music. But while Afrobeats has been going from strength to strength, another genre of African music has quickly risen in popularity. In the 2010s, in the townships of South Africa, emerged a fusion of house, kwaito, and jazz sounds rooted in a distinct African house genre. It came to be known as Amapiano. The name is derived from the native tongue Zulu and means the pianos. It is characterized by its tempo, repetitive piano melodies, and catchy bass lines. Artists like Kabza De Small, DJ Maporiza are widely regarded as some of the pioneers of the genre. Amapiano's rise to popularity can be attributed to social media platforms such as TikTok and Instagram. With a growing global fan base, including a thriving community of artists and producers, Amapiano is poised to leave a mark on the world of music for years to come. While Afrobeats is all about getting you grooving to the beat, Amapiano is more about laid-back yet infectious rhythms, driven by deep bass lines and catchy piano melodies. Music to chill to, in other words. So, whether you are vibing to Afrobeats or grooving to Amapiano, African music is becoming even more of a celebration of inclusivity, diversity, and creativity. As they say, in the battle of the beats, everyone's a winner when the music's good.
Now that you're up to speed with your music history, let's move on to a mega festival, the Afro Nation 2024 in Portugal. The event brought together over 40,000 people from over 140 countries. That in itself speaks volumes about the success of African music. And you know what? Just for you guys, the 77% went there asking people whether they prefer Afrobeats or Amapiano. So get yourself in a summer groovy vibe. This discussion will leave you sweating.
Hello, 77%. So we're here at the Afro Nation 2024 in Portimao, Portugal. And there is a lot of music, different music vibes happening here. But there's totally like two different crowds. There's Amapiano and on the side, Afrobeats. So we're just going to find out exactly what's happening, who's for Amapiano and who's for Afrobeats, and which one is about to take over the world. Come with me. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, and yourself?
So I'll start with you with the mic.
Yes.
So there is a stage down there, which is Amapiano, and then just right here is the lead stage, they call it, is for Afrobeats.
Yes.
Do you think that is a good idea at a festival?
I definitely do think, because there are two different sounds and they both do have their audience. And, you know, as someone who's South African, I'm a bit biased. I won't lie. I've been camped on the other side for Amapiano, but I've definitely enjoyed quite a few Afrobeat sounds, you know, something new to listen to.
Yeah.
Learn a few new words also. So, yeah, it's been very exciting.
Tell us, what's your opinion?
For me, I prefer Afrobeats. After the both of them, I enjoy for the vibes, the sound. The sound is really different for me. When I listen on piano, my body move.
Yeah, you're always like...
Yeah, like Afrobeats, but it's different, you know.
Yeah,
really different
Afrobeats is about lyrics.
Yeah, and generation as well. Amapiano, I think it will be temporary.
Temporary,
it's temporary. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. All right, is that what you think?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm with my friend here. Afro Nation. I'm not gonna lie. Afrobeats.
Friends,
Now the reason why, let me tell you why. There's a lot more versatility that I feel like you can get with Afrobeats. In terms of, obviously, there's more lyrics. It's not just the beat. Right? But with Amapiano, you have to feel it. Like she said, you feel it, but after like 2 hours, it sounds repetitive to me.
Yeah, but will it be temporary or not? Your friend just said it's temporary.
Will it be temporary?
Yeah.
So when you say Amapiano won't last, I kind of maybe agree with you, because it will continue to grow. It will evolve into something even bigger. Yeah. Let me tell you that much. And like you said, the crowd is at the Amapiano stage. Afrobeats, I cannot hate on it. I love it. It's amazing. All the artists that have been here have been killing it.
But if you're asked to choose one?
It's not a choice. Amapiano to the world, baby. Amapiano to the world. They are killing it that side. They are killing it.
Okay, yeah. And I'm sure she agrees with you, no?
I'm actually a fan of Afrobeats.
Okay.
That's my favorite. That's what I grew up on. My siblings, my family, everything, Afrobeats. I like Amapiano, but my heart belongs to Afrobeats.
I listen to both, but for different types of settings. I like listening to Amapiano when I have to really focus because of the beats. It really does get you there, yeah. But I am Caribbean, so there's a closer connection to the Afrobeats.
Okay.
And I do prefer.
Oh, right, interesting.
Yeah.
You can give him, what's your opinion?
It's my opinion. You see what is the thing where like, everybody's here comparing this, comparing that. Just enjoy them both. Like.
African music is taking over the world. I mean, it's making waves. It's not just Africans here. I've spoken to Americans, I've spoken to Jamaicans. This is the Afro Nation. What have you got to say about that? Do you think we are overtaking as Africans, like in the world of music?
What I would say is obviously, I think it's a thing where like it's grown steadily and slowly over time, but we are definitely overtaking in the world. Because
and you're from the Caribbean. We are overtaking the world.
Born and raised in Iceland.
Okay.
We listen to Rema on the radio in Iceland. Out of all the places in the world, Reykjavik, Iceland, there are basically no black people there, but we still got Afrobeats and Amapiano.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see the crowd. It's all different races, all different ages.
Yeah.
Come on. We are taking over.
We are. Why do you think African music has risen this fast?
I think more than anything, like she said, it's a community. You know, it tells a story. When you're traveling and you hear someone's from Ghana, you're like, oh my God, hi. You just get so excited, you know, just seeing our people. I think more than anything in the crowd, I was hearing languages and I was like, I don't know what they're saying.
But
it sounds good. I like it. So I think more than anything, it's community. It tells a story. And really, as Africans, we haven't had the easiest upbringing. So it really connects us as a people. And I think that's really what it is.
I think for me, the key thing is we finally gained the confidence to enter those spaces. I think for a long time, we gatekeeped our music to ourselves. It was fantastic. And then it's events like Afro Nation that have showed us the fact that no, we can literally penetrate the international markets, do the most, and gain the confidence.
Yeah, but speaking of Afro Nation, I mean, this is happening in Europe, right? And we're talking of Africa, African music. Do you think this could also rock or, I mean, go big in Africa if it's to happen in one of the African countries?
No, definitely. I think for sure. I definitely think their biggest crowd would be there.
Yeah.
And maybe we should look more into penetrating the African market, you know, try different African countries. You know, we've got Afrobeats. There's so many countries that offer Afrobeats. Come to South Africa. Let's do
absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's stage that's Amapiano. Let's do a bit more. Let's integrate a whole lot of artists and local artists more than anything else.
Yeah.
And let's give our African artists a chance to literally show the world what we can do.
Yeah, but do you think we should also do something in Africa?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, to see our culture, music, everything. Yeah, I hope if Afro Nation will be in Africa, I will be here for sure.
Now to you. You spoke about upcoming artists. I mean, that some have not even made it to these big stages and all. What do you think should be done to ensure that at least we embrace and actually look for all that talent that is hidden in Africa?
I think I agree with what you guys are saying, that we should have one festival in Africa as well, where since this only like this one and I think one in America. Yeah. There's not a lot of artists that can go to those two. So if we have more, maybe more small and upcoming artists have a chance to go on stage and showcase what they've got.
Okay, there you have it, 77%ers. It's happening at Afro Nation, as you've heard. African music is here to stay. Afrobeats to the world, Amapiano to the world. There is no competition there. It's all about African vibes and African music. Stay tuned.
Hey, you guys have strong opinions, though.
At least the participants in that debate could agree that both genres are great to listen to regardless, because that's what matters, right? Now, if you're a lover of the Afro Nation Festival, you would agree that every artist comes with their A game. And so does our next guest, Diamond Platnumz, one of East Africa's shining music icons known for his electrifying performances. MTV even named him Best African Act several times. But did you know that he's also an astute businessman and has a passion for helping young people? You don't believe me? Let's hear from the man himself.
Hey, 77%ers, we are back again, still at the Afro Nation 2024 here in Portimao, Portugal. Guess who we have right now? the man himself. He's just brought the house down. It was just vibes. Everybody was screaming as he performed on stage. It's none other than Diamond Platnumz. Diamond, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was an amazing performance there.
I appreciate it.
How do you feel performing at the Afro Nation?
The good thing about Afro Nations is that it brings every nation in here. It brings everybody, all the continents and all the countries in here. So it feels so good for you to perform in front of all the countries at one place.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're traveling to different countries. So when you have everybody one place, it's so good.
Yeah.
But it needs you to have a hit.
Of course. Congratulations on, you achieved a remarkable stream, over like 400 million streaming on the Bloomberg. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I can say it's a blessing, and I want to give this to my fans because they are the one who will be streaming those songs and all that, and I love them and I'm thanking them, and I've got more good things for them.
You're not just a musician, you're also a businessman.
Sure.
You own the Wasafi record
Radio,
label. How do you
TV.
Yeah, how do you manage to juggle between being an artist, you're here in Afro Nation? I know you have a long list of performances coming up.
Yeah, I can say of course we're doing music, but to me, I always wanted to use my music influence in a very positive way so that I can invest in from the talent that God gave me to use it in a nice way so that I can invest to different things, and those things can be one of the tools to support or empower the youth. So after I started being musician professionally, I started investing into different businesses and then employ different youth.
When we look at you, we read about you following your journey. Your first hit was Toka Mwanzo. I don't know if I've said that right.
I didn't know if you know that one. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a hit, but you didn't give up, Diamond. You didn't give up, and there you are today. You are an icon when it comes to music. What advice can you give to the African youth?
Every time remember that it always looks impossible until it's done. And sometimes you may have a vision that your team or your people will never understand. You have to accept it. Don't expect everybody to understand, to love, to like, to follow, or to be happy with whatever that you feeling like you want to do.
There you have it. You've heard it from the man himself, Diamond Platnumz. Only exclusives happening here on DW, the 77%. Stay tuned.
They say music is the universal language that transcends borders and cultures. But when it comes to the battle between Afrobeats and Amapiano, it is hard to choose which one hits best. But this new kid on the block